Thank you all for meeting with me. You're all doing some wonderful work destroying the world, but I think it's probably time for us to reevaluate.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption, but I think we're in the wrong meeting. We're not here to destroy the world. We're here to save it. You see, we are some of the leading leaders of liberal causes, and I'm with the Human Rights Campaign, who focus on LGBTQ plus and trans rights. You see, I have the equal sign to let you know that I'm a good person.
Oh, excuse me, women's reproductive rights.
Climate.
Free Palestine. Open borders.
I misspoke before. You guys are not destroying the world, okay? You are saving the world.
Hey, whoa, what's up with those scare quotes?
Pretty sure I didn't use scare quotes when I said saving the world.
There it is again.
The important thing to keep in mind is that there's a big election coming up, and you and I, we're all on the same page, okay? So if we want Biden to win, he needs to win in order for us to save the world. If we want Biden to win, you folks, how can I say this? You might need to tone it down just.
Tone down what?
Oh, that's a good question. You're women's reproductive rights, right? Okay. Excellent branding, by the way. It's much easier on the ears than baby murder, so kudos to you on that one. But opposing any restrictions all the way through to the 9th month, I mean, you see how you're kind of tipping your hand, right? Makes people think, wait, maybe they actually want to kill babies. And we do, obviously.
No, we don't.
Oh,
No, we don't. We don't.
right. We don't. But you see how it can kind of look that way. So that's all I'm saying. Let's tone it down. And you, immigration, clearly we don't want a completely open border that undermines any sense of national sovereignty, driving down wages for the working class and overtaxing the welfare state. So let's go a bit easy there too. I mean, why not something like this? Why not something like diversity is our...
Are you trying to say diversity is our strength?
Yes! How do you say that without laughing? Oh my gosh. I can't even get through it. This is head and my sides. My goodness. Okay, what about you? Pro-Palestine. You are, I'm going to say this. You're kind of coming across like you just want to wipe Israel off the map and kill all the Jews.
We do want to wipe Israel off the map and kill all the Jews.
Of course, yes. And that's awesome. I'm all for that. I love that. But you need to pretend like you don't want to wipe Israel off the map and kill all the Jews.
Why?
Excuse me?
I mean, we're pretty clear in our position, and most young people and everyone on college campuses, and half the Democratic Party, of course, still support us.
Yeah, it's cool now.
You may have a point there. You might be the only person in here that can be as evil as you want to be and get away with it. All right, still, let's think about tactics. Okay, do you think that occupying bridges and blocking traffic is somehow winning people over to your cause?
Yeah, and making people hate us by blocking traffic is our thing. He's stealing our thing!
You're not stealing your thing. You must die. We will kill you all!
See, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, okay, I love the homicidal thing that you got going on there. I really dig it, okay? But maybe market it just a little bit differently. Like the serial killer that everyone thinks is such a sweet guy, He's got 27 bodies in the basement, but he's like, coaching Little League. That's what I want. Be that guy.
Death to America.
The funny thing is, you don't even look Middle Eastern. Am I wrong, people? Am I wrong?
I'm not. I actually grew up on Long Island, but my parents sent me to college. Death to America.
HRC guy, you have been going over the top as well.
Well, it's important for us, they, them, to be accepted just like everyone else.
Yes, of course. And convincing people that they're intolerant for not wanting men to get naked in women's locker rooms. I guess that's genius. I mean, come on, it's next level stuff. All right, but insisting that your children be mutilated. I mean, come on, let's turn people off, you guys. I mean, not everyone, obviously, but until the election, can we just all pretend for a few months not to be crazed, lunatic, homicidal extremists?
No, it's my body, my Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump.
You will obey me. Sorry. Glad we're all on the same page, though. So, how do you do it? When I do evil stuff, it seems like nobody likes me. When you do it, everyone finds you sympathetic.
Well, see, my people are oppressed victims. So we can rape, murder, and call for genocide, and it's pretty much totally justified.
Well done,
Hey, folks, welcome to the program. Will you give me the finger, please? I'm begging you. Would you please like, share, rumble, follow, subscribe to this program? It's where we learn together. In case you're brand new to my program, I'm not kind of a headline reader or a regurgitator of a regurgitator of a regurgitator that regurgitates stuff and tries to convince you I'm a patriot and I know what's going on because I regurgitate what everyone else tells you. I'm different. We're all different in this program. And in fact, if you're joining this program, we're friends and family here. So when you come into chat, you're chatting with friends and family. You're participating just like we do this. I haven't said this in a long time, but it's 777 because we're lucky to be here. 7 a.m. Central Time, a.m., p.m., 7 days a week, right? And then when you get to the Sunday, we kind of run the whole week stuff. You can kind of see them back to back in case you missed any, but we're all friends and family here. And many times you participate in the program by coming on. And oh, by the way, when you're in chat, don't think you're just bombing chat or doing something like that. You're participating in the program because many times I'm reading what you put there, right? Like Facebook telling, hey, everybody on Rumble, how's it going? Him being in Western North Carolina. We're here. We're all here to cut the crap, culture, race, and American politics. We're going to have an interesting topic today. It's more kind of, I hate to say a lecture, but it really is more like sitting in a college level class to understand what's going on. We're going to talk about the Islamification of America. These are numbers, stats, and facts you need to know. Now, today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Goldco. I partnered with them for a reason, and it's because these are the people that will absolutely make sure you get educated on why you need to protect your money with gold and silver. All I'm asking you to do is fill out the form, request your free gold and silver kit today. Now, I've been showing you this and I've been telling you this. And one of the things I always ask you to do is audit it. Audit what I tell you. Audit what I show you. You should treat my work no different than anyone else's work. I've even been corrected on the air where I misspoke, and I'll correct it. No big deal. We're here to learn. And so it's not rah-rah, sis, boom, bah. Many times it's just the sobering crap, culture, race, and American politics that you have to look at. So I told you hotels are now going cashless. I experienced myself. I was in Philadelphia. You couldn't even pay cash at the bar. And I've been watching this trend now. Mexico, immediately our border to the south of the United States, they've taken all of their gas stations and everything are now cashless. It's moving, folks. It's coming in. And this digital economy is good and bad, but in a digital economy, you are not going to have money stuffed in your mattress. It ain't going to happen. It's going to bring a whole new issue of concerns. And that's why you have to understand how gold and silver play a long-term protection strategy in your portfolio. I'm not talking about swap everything you have out. That's not what it is. And oh, by the way, for many of you that are interested in the recreational aspect, getting your butt out, protecting yourself, owning something that the government will allow you to own, right? To have, to control land. Most people don't know that. Land at like $30 an acre. Yeah, baby. You ever heard of that? That's where you had to send me an email with just the reference title gold. And then you'll get back a questionnaire. That's about 12 questions. You have to answer it so we know what kind of land, recreational land, all, mining related, will work for you. And we're about to move to the next phase. So those of you that already sent in your 12 questions, those are all being processed now. And we'll get on to the regular phase so we can get you land that you can get, control, pass to your heirs, everything else. It's out there. Okay, so it's going to be a learning session, an Islamification learning session. Lift that finger right now. Share this program. It's educational knowledge you need to have. We'll get started right after these brief messages.
Rennie Good was a gifted soul, a writer and a poet and a mother, wow. She tried to hit an agent with her car, oh no! Pop, motherfucker, now she's gone! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue-haired unfuckables with the septum ring. You are not a hero, you're a fucking disease! You fuck around and find out it's what it is! Jeffrey Pretty was a Jewish homo. Started talking shit to protect a chomo. He was getting nicked when he pulled a gun. Bam, motherfucker, now you're gone! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue-haired unfuckables with a septum ring. You are not a hero, you're a fucking disease! Fuck around and find out what that is!
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you.
Warning. The following program has been rated Gilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you. Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians? The elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused emotional socialist snowflake crowd. Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, folks. In this particular program, we're going to talk about the Islamification of America. It's happening. It's real. We're just going to take a sobering stats look at it. But I have a question for you. And this is for my edification only. Most of you know I'm a big-time gardener. You know, that's why I did my books, passed them on. Food Forest Bible, you got to get into food security. You better get your ass hauling, folks. It's just true. Just make sure my name's on the book. I mean, it's Not that hard, because rat bastards have copied it and they keep on putting out other versions. That's why I won't do ebooks anymore. They buy it, they crack it, and then they take what they want out of it, put it back out. No, I have a broadcast, and it drives their book sales of something you think is me that is not me. And by the way, I have, great fruit books and no dig gardening. But here's a question for you, honest question, just before I get started. Only because I don't know. I recently transplanted goji berries. Okay? I've always wanted them. Never had them. Goji berries will begin to really produce about the 4 and 5 year mark. So it's very hard to find fairly mature goji berries. And so I found 3-year-olds. I got them, transplanted them, and they just look like crap. They're kind of wilted. And I know that's kind of a transplant shot. Diane said she has those. They're goji, G-O-J-I, goji. Is that how you say it? Goji berry. Anyway, the damn things look wilted. Have any of you, put it in chat, I'll find it. And I know it's a shock. I know it's transplant shock. One looks really good. One may be recovering. The other ones are just kind of looking piss poor. And it's so hard to get a hold of these things. And I have talked to them. I've sung to them. I've done everything to them, right? But the damn things just aren't perking back up. Oh, Cart Doc said she ordered Paulowena and Jujube. Jujube is my next orchard to get in. Anyway, if you have any experience with goji berries, let me know. And then one experiment I'm going to try for the very first time at one of the family properties on the back of a garden near to where the chicken pens are, where it won't interfere with anything in the garden. I'm going to plant a wall of heavy thorn bush roses. I mean, I'm talking an entire wall, like it could be an impenetrable fortress to get through, right? If you tried that, let me know. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Enough of just my questions. But again, anyway, if any of you have goji berry experience, let me know, right? Had a Russian lady one time. She made jelly out of them, talking the freaking bomb, right? Okay. We're going to talk about the Islamification of America. I'm going to give you some stats. Artistic says, lovely fairy roses. How did you know? Do you know how hard it took me to find an appropriate fairy that would shave his damn legs and back, dance in the back 40 with roses? How'd you know it was fairy roses? Okay. Do you know where your county is on a map? If you were looking at the United States of America, do you know where your county is? If I showed you a map of, and we'll go back, I love roses too. I love roses too. I love long stem. Did you know, but long stem is actually an invention of the Chinese? Did you know that? Yeah, I had no idea. I watched a special on roses. Very fascinating. In the Americas, we have roses, which are basically wild roses, wandering roses, etc. Did you know the rose is a tree? Yeah, St. Thomas says, Jovan does love a long stem. Yep, I do. Not that it has anything to do with you. That's what I go to your wife for. But that's another story. We're not going to talk about it now. Hey, wifey, how you doing? Anyway, did you know that roses are trees? When you find the wild roses that are out there, and I never knew it, they are freaking trees. Literally, roses are a tree product. We kind of think of them as, and they flower. We kind of think of them as only a flower. It's like freaking wild. And so now I'm kind of consumed with rescuing these wild roses across the country, right? because they're becoming extinct. And I know they're not lovely and organized and Longstream or whatever, that right? So Montana fans don't. Yeah, they're you find these old, like if you're doing it in the mountains of the Appalachians, trees. We're talking trunks like this and trees. Imagine you like roses. Now imagine walking into a forest somewhere and you see all these roses and you look and you go, damn, that's on a tree. Now imagine, you think a bouquet is nice. Imagine a whole freaking tree that way. That's what they are. Enough of that. We're not going to talk gardening. We're going to talk the seed that's been planted in America, and that's Islam. The Islam seed has come here. Anyway, my question was, do you know? Stop talking about gardening. I know I brought it up. Stop. You're going to distract me. Do you know where your county is on a map? Let me show you all of the counties in the United States. And by the way, this particular map is 6 years old. It means it's only gotten worse. There is every county in the United States right now. And I know I started it. Shut up, hater. Every county in the United States that has mosque. Can you see your county on there? I'm going to show you these things in living color, right? And we're going to talk about some of the alarming stats, because I'm telling you, it's alarming. Now, let me set this up straight. Somebody says, definitely no mosque in my county. CMAC, let's check that out. Put for me, and somebody remember, put your county, because I have a live interactive program. They'll show how close they're to you. We're going to talk about it. Patrick says none in mine. Anyway, put them in there. We'll check it. We'll use you too, right, as guinea pigs. Anyway, and when I'm going to ask it again in a minute because I'll forget it. Just have it there. Anyway, for me, this is just me personally. I do not care what your religion is. I don't. I do not care what your orientation is. I don't. I only care that you're a good person, you love your family and country, and you have ethics and morals. Don't care what you do as an adult in your bedroom at night. That's your shit. It's nobody else's business. Even my precious little brother dabbed, and may still be in it, I don't know, Satanism. And that's a pretty hard statement to say. And I adore my brother. But I understand a person's faith journey is personal and up to them, and God gave them free will. Now, my line when it comes to your religion, and faith and religion are two freaking different things. Faith is you as an individual, you're believing in the Creator. Religion is what man made and put around it, okay? But I don't care what faith you have. And it's not my job in any way to try to convert you. See, convert's the problem. If you want to be enlightened and you want to talk, right? And you want to talk, then we'll talk about it. Liberty Mom, your throat still hurts. Thank you for letting me see that, hater. I would have missed her comment. And Liberty Mom, I am so sorry. So sorry. I did not mean for that to be the end result. I just can't help it. When religion demands you be like them or else you're bad, I think that's where it's gone wrong. It's a subtle definition of words, folks. I know you're always here to. I'm talking to somebody in Rebel, Mr. Hater. He's always here to help. Don't tell anybody that you were cradling my. Don't. Shh. Anyway, Liberty Mom says, we'll go at it a second time, meet again soon. I'm looking forward to it. We have this wrong impression that we are to go out and convert people to our faith. We are to educate, teach, understand, and share. You don't convert anybody. Here's what I mean. Through education, through sharing, people learn, and it is by them learning and understanding that they will choose the free will and do what they want to do. So if your faith demands you convert, that's where I draw the line. And I think that's where it becomes evil. This is my own thing. So when it comes to Islam, I have a few issues. The issue is they say convert or die. I'm not okay with that. Never have been at any time in history, any era, historical or otherwise not. That's not it. It's not okay. But the further issue I have with Islam is that the people that actually say you're an infidel, you convert, right? And people don't understand, and I've been doing this series on Islam, is that the conversion was very shallow. You convert or you're going to die or we'll kill you. So people want to save themselves. But most people don't understand is once you converted, then you are required to pay a tax. It's a taxing authority on top of it. But I have a problem with Islam for me, see if you're the same way, that the Islamic people don't call out other people that under the name of Islam says, we're going to kill your ass if you don't convert. I mean, the freaking 10 Commandment flies right in the face of that, doesn't it? When you think about it. But they themselves don't call it out, that that's not the way to bring adherence. Why? Because they'll get killed. So I have a real issue with that. And it's kind of the only, and correct me if I'm wrong. Now, Christendom has done this before. Catholicism did it in the name of being Christian. It happened before, killed 20 million people. But Islam has killed 300 million people in the name of their faith. Is there another religion out there that is convert or die? I know the Democrats have vote or die, but is there another religion out there just that comes to your memory that is convert or die? Anybody? You will convert or you will die. And when Muslims would come, oh, well, that, I guess you're right. Maybe the Uniparty or the Dems. And then you become part of a taxing authority. They tax you, okay? And so that part, you're right. That kind of seems more like a gang to me, right? So with that said, and you understand it's only Islam, if there's another one, let me know, because I can't find another one. I can find religions that have done it, only one hasn't. Well, outside of Buddhism, and that's Judaism. I don't get it. Because, see, that's the opposite of it's supposed to be godly and peaceful, which is what your faith should be. Now, with that, I want to kind of take a look at, let's just take a look at faith in America. I'm going to show you a few images, quite a few images for this. Well, Jonestown, right? And what'd they do? They died. And the ones that didn't drink the Kool-Aid, they forced them. That's the problem with religion. Because religion is man-made. Faith is your issue with God. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let me get it larger on my screen so you can see it. This is Faith in America. It's called Faithland. And you'll see the percentages. If it's this is only up to 2010. I'm just doing this so we have a baseline to work off of for this program. Religious adherence as a percentage of all residents. So the light colors say that 96% to 100%. Get it? And then when it gets down into the greens, it's 50%. When it gets down into the blues, the dark blues, it's 3% to maybe 20%. So I'm going to try to give you a look here. And you might, these are the percentages, okay? You kind of can look at these things in the world, and it's kind of pretty alarming. And it's kind of pretty alarming, the hot spots of almost zero faith. Right? Almost zero faith places. So the dark blues are where there's technically kind of no faith. Okay? So let me see if I can get this. So here's the map so you can kind of look at it in a better way. Spot your area. For those of you that are in chat, if you'll just give me a state real quick, I'll zoom in on it for you. Okay. And we'll go through it, but pop your state in the first one. Okay, Georgia. So let's take a look at Georgia. So Georgia's going to be right about here, right? So let's pop over. Okay, well, there's Georgia. So the Georgia swath, you can see Georgia as a state is predominantly pretty heavy concentration of people that are driven by faith. A few little areas, pockets that go down to 50%. Okay. You can see Virginia. Where's Virginia? Hang on. I'm trying to grab a hold of my cursor here. Okay, so here's Virginia. Okay. And, mountain folks and whatever kind of get the mountain areas. Let's look at, somebody said Oklahoma. Let's get over here. Here's Oklahoma, right? Okay. Now it's really interesting. I want you just to understand, this doesn't mean do you have faith. This map basically is, do you actually adhere to your faith? Now, you'll see something in here. Let's look at the what's called the Houston Lake area. You got that big hot core there of nothing. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I think I can post this for you. Don't get too lost in it. This is why I normally don't do links, but I'll be sharing several with you on this broadcast. But that's kind of a sample of where the United States is based on, do you practice your faith? That map's called the Faithland map. And that's kind of what we'll kind of begin our chat off of, because what I want to talk about is Islamification. Now, there are 3,300 whatever counties in the United States of America. This is about 6 years old, and these are counties that absolutely have a mosque. Some of the areas that are really booming is like Dallas, Fort Worth. I don't associate basically Texas. I'm a Texas boy. That's where I grew up, right? Either between San Antonio or Dallas, Fort Worth. But it's like, wow. It's exploding. Now, again, we're covering this because it's not based on someone's faith. It's based on how far somebody will take that faith. And you do not see, quote unquote, peaceful Muslims calling out the ones that'll cut your fucking head off because they'll get their head cut off too. And I have a problem with that. Now, what do you think is the second biggest religion based on your state? Have you ever looked at it? What is the second most significant religion in your state? Do you know what that is for your state? I think you're going to be surprised. Henry says Catholic, right? Most people would guess that, right? I'm going to show you the second. Now, we're not talking branches. We have to use, quote unquote, Christianity as a big umbrella in this one. Okay? So the map I'm going to show you is not, and you know, it'd be interesting, agnostic. Take a look at this. I'm just amazed by this map. Ready? Look at that. These are the states of the United States. If you look at the second biggest religion in the state, those that are pink, it's Judaism. Those that are green is Islam. Now, I want you to look at this very sobering map. Orange is Buddhism, which is basically Montana and New Mexico. Blue is Hinduism, right there in the center of the country, right? But there you go. These are the second most popular religions in the United States of America. Now, I want you to look at that map because a lot of that green, that terrifies me. I'll put this on my Telegram so you have it. That terrifies the hell out of me. And it only terrifies me because it's Islam. Now, when I go in and try to pull the databases, I can find all day long how many illegals, right, come across the border from Mexico and all this other stuff. You know what our country stopped tracking during the Obama era? Whether you came from a Muslim country and whether Islam was your faith. They stopped it. Again, that alarmed me. And it's kind of like this thing, and I'll go back to Arizona. And this is where you kind of see it. Like in Arizona, if you look at Brnovich, the old AG there, he found some woman who voted her dead mama's ballot. The first thing, as soon as the ballot's taken out of the envelope, you don't even know where it came from. So how the hell did they find somebody? One person. How did they find someone that voted mama's ballot? Did she turn herself in? No, I think it's all a rig. I think they pay somebody to do it. They pay them well. They give them a misdemeanor, but they'll pay them big bucks. Why? See, it's so these guys can say, well, in our state, you know, Maricopa County, we had 2.5 million voters. There was only one person that voted illegally. I think that's the racket, right? But our system, aside from calling black people white in the crime statistics to make it look like more white people commit crimes, I've shown you that, they stopped tracking all the people coming across the border, technically from radical Islamic countries and by their faith. They just stopped it. So there's actually no reliable numbers. I think that's part of the rig. So, what do you think? What state has the highest concentration of adherents to Islam. What state has the single highest concentration of adherents to Islam? Put it in chat. What do you think? We got one that says Wisconsin. Texas, Michigan. The number one state by concentration of Islam. Again, this one floored me. Texas. Texas is by far even more than New York or California. It's like, holy shit. 16.2% of all adherents to Islam are in Texas, then New York, then Illinois, then California. And yes, this is why you see Texas going blue. Hell, Texas ain't even a purple state anymore. And where you track these wild swings going away from being conservative to going liberal, there are direct correlations between this one stat and that. Texas, 16.2%. Does that not blow your mind? That literally blew my mind in researching this program. Just blew my mind. I had no concept. You know, I would have thought Michigan. I was dead wrong. But then when you look at these concentration maps and we look at places that are really pushing strong Democratic strongholds where they're really fighting turning blue, it kind of all makes sense. And now you have entire school districts changing their lunch menus during Ramadan to allow halal food. I didn't get served kosher shit in school. You ate what you ate. But again, that was back when the school actually cooked it, didn't unzip a bag and dump it on a plate. New York City is overrun now with the call to prayer. New York City is now passing a tax, an extra tax. If you're in a white, higher income neighborhood, they're going to adjust your taxes, saying it benefits backwards that don't have white. Do you know what religion did that taxed you more if you weren't born into the faith? Islam. Not only did they say, convert or we'll kill you, they basically said, okay, now that you're converted, you must be faithful. And by the way, to be faithful, you pay this fee basically every month. Or all of a sudden you're unfaithful and we can kill you again. Does that sound like anything peaceful to you? It doesn't to me. But these are the things that people are afraid to talk about. Literally, when they would come in and conquer, you will convert or die. They would take the sons, put them in the army. They would take the women, because they could do it because they were infidels, young girls or whatever, rape, put them in harems. And then even if you converted, because you weren't born into the faith and you accept the conversion, you now pay a tax because you weren't born into the faith. And that's the way you prove you are adhering. And if you don't adhere, you're going to be killed all over again. But nobody talks about this. Nobody. Let me tell you why. Because this bullshit manufactured shamephobia shit. Well, you're Islamophobic. No, I'm death to America fucking phobic. That's a big difference. And it could be a Nazi. Hell, the Protestants could do this. If they did that, yeah, I'm phobic. It's all shame. It's all shame-based. That's why they introduced, remember what they introduced during Obama? Microaggressions. It all coincides. Microaggressions. They use this shame stuff. But it's also why my pronouns are fuck you. But shame, because people operate on shame, because people want to be in cliques, they want to be liked, they want to be loved. Oh, I'm in the crowd. And if you look at anybody who's young and Democrat, well, I'm on the right side of history. I'm right. I care about people. What? You invite conquerors in. You buy people off for giving them stuff for free. You're eliminating God. You punish them for God. You reward the ones that don't love God. This is where it's upside down. But when you look at this second largest religion by state, I'm not sure anybody could have guessed this. And by the way, some of those states, because you're looking at 2020, some of those states that were pink are no longer pink. There's more green. That's freaking alarming. That's not the America I know. That's not the America that built this stuff. That's not the America that succeeded. Let's look at some other stats. Again, this was eye-opening for me. Let me make sure I got it. Ready? Here we go. Boom. If we were to look at religion not including Islam, and let me see if I can, why can't I adjust this screen? Hang on. Where is it? Oh, that sucks. Let me see if I can do it a different way. Okay, this is the United States. You can kind of see it's by county. If it's dark purple, the darkest of purples, then the majority faith is Catholic. If it's dark purple. If it's the lighter purple, then you have plurality, meaning it's not the majority, but it's still holding the top. It's variance. And so that's the lighter purple. If it's a dark red, that means it's the majority that are within the Baptist faith, Baptist religion. If it's the lighter red, it means that it's the plurality Baptist. If it's blue, the darker of the blue, the majority is Lutheran. If it's the lighter of blue, it just kind of has a plural majority, right? If it's pink, the pinks are non-denominational, where it's not associated with any denomination, and that is what leads. If it's dark green or light green, that's Methodist. If it's a darker gray, you have a dark gray and a light gray, look left, that's Mormon. if you have where you have the bright orange and you have the lighter orange, look up at the Oopers in Michigan, the Mitt on Michigan. Those are what's called reformist. If it's the boogery yellow and the bright yellow, those are the churches of Christ. If it's dark brown to the light brown, those are the Amish. Okay, and they have another weird green in there. It's Eastern Orthodox, which is what you kind of see to the left in Hawaii, which I would have never guessed. But this is how our country, and it's based on 2020, it does not include, and I find a lot of these maps are really interesting, they're intentionally not including Islam, which I find interesting. I just find it interesting. But find where you are on that map. Now that's the looking at it pluralistic. Let me give you some stats on who is Islam in the United States of America. It's very hard to pin down this number, but it's probably in excess of 6 million. It is the fastest growing group in the United States there is, okay? And it's doubling every 3 years. It's doubling every 3 years based on birth rates and conversion to it, okay? Now, this is where I see a convergence of we've screwed up as a nation. And as I've said before, the leading cause of atheists in the United States of America is Christians. You've even seen it in the election integrity movement. People that are absolute bullshit, but wear their faith on the sleeve like it's some sort of banner. Look how good I am. Who says Jesus the most? It's all bullshit. And so the leading cause of atheism is Christianity. But a very interesting thing is, if you were to look at age groups 18 to 29, now I'm going to call that our most vulnerable. I want to remind you of something. It is said when China was just about 1 billion people, was the time when it converted and became communist. It only took about 50,000 people, 50,000 people, 50,000 people who supported communism or what turned that entire country away from its ancestral roots, faiths, etc., completely obliterated. Now, those 50,000 were super highly concentrated. That's why this is the model. You had a country of 1 billion people. It only took 50,000 to make that country fall. Let me give you the concentration, where the concentration was. The concentration that did it were the people that were college professors, people that basically reported the news, and college students. And it only took 50,000 to take a country of 1 billion that had one of the longest histories in the world, devout faith, discipline, everything, to wipe it out. Now, the reason I tell you that is because if we look at Islam and we look at that target audience, which is 18-year-olds to 29-year-olds, It is the single largest concentration in the United States of America of the faith of Islam. It's triple what Christianity is. That's why this rhetoric about disenfranchisement works. Kids, it's happening in Christian ranks as well. Kids that are in their 30s now, 25s, don't think they'll ever be able to own a home. It can't be afforded. Well, the system did that. And so those kids are disenfranchised. And when they're disenfranchised, they become disenchanted. When they become disenchanted, they basically think, well, it's the parents' fault. It's the system's fault. So they turn away. What fills that vacuum? A new faith. A new, this is what's right, and I don't want to be my parents. That is exactly what right now is happening in the United States of America with those people that are 18 to 29. Now, you primarily think Islam is a Middle Eastern country effect. Yes, the colleges are concentrated around those dots. Very astute, but yes. Now, so they're going to throw anybody Middle Eastern by default into the white category. But do you know what the mix is in the United States? 30% white, 30% Asian, and that's if you're a South Asian, Near East, Arab, they'll throw you in that category. 20% black, 11% Hispanic, 8% mixed. It's not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. If you look at the Muslim population in the United States right now, this is the real indicator. See, they'll tell you, okay, it's 30% white, it's 30% Asian, that includes South and Near East Arabs and South Asian, 20% black, 11% Hispanic, 8% mixed. But here's the real fact. 65% of them are foreign born. See, that's where the real number lay. You can hide it if you just change the category. Where they're light skinned, we're going to call them white. You get what's going on? And they have a higher adherent rate. See, this is where filling the void comes in. If you have an autistic child, if you have a AD&D child, one of the best things you can do is give them discipline and order. Make them follow instructions. Make sure it's very consistent. What does Islam do, which is predominantly an incredibly low IQ crowd? Those call to prayers. Oh, I got to do my routine. And if you don't do the routine, you're not being faithful. If you're not being faithful, you get killed. That is the call to prayer. Ding, ding, ding. That's the Pavlov's dog. It has to keep reminding you, worship me, serve me, worship me, serve me. Why I think it is because if you really look at it, it's incongruent. You're fucking slaughtering people. We're cutting their heads off, but you say it's just in the name of Allah. So what do they do in the Pavlov dog effect? Those call to prayers every single day. That is the discipline technique, the brainwashing technique, that what you're really doing is good and faithful and right with God. You get it? But it's also what you do to a disenchanted, disenfranchised, super low IQ people. I'll use autism because it's proven. Routine. Why? It makes them feel comfortable. Now you understand why the call to prayer 5 times a day? And it's not voluntary? It's no different than wearing the mask during the pandemic. Are you a good Muslim? Are you practicing? I don't see a call to prayer. Where's your prayer rug getting out in the middle of the street? Do you understand the massive mental conditioning this requires? And I believe it's because there's such a disconnect. When people really question it, and by the way, you're not allowed to question Islam, but inherently people are going to be questioned. And there ain't no turning back. You leave the faith, you're dead. Most people don't know that. You leave the faith, you're dead. And even if you don't get killed right away, they will take some zealot to kill you because you left the faith, you're an infidel. They'll get you one way or another. And you're right. This faith becomes muscle memory. It becomes follow instructions, no questions asked. Follow instructions because no questions asked. That is what this population is. Isn't that concerning? Because nobody ever looks at this. Nobody ever looks at what's going on. They have a very high current college participant. Why? Because our system, in the name of DEI, bent, and most of them are going to college getting the degrees on scholarships. You have medical schools right now and nursing schools bragging online because they don't have a single white student. You have medical schools, nursing schools, bragging because they don't have a single white student. Now, here's what's really interesting. 50% of all quote unquote Muslim kids report they feel unsafe at school because of Islamophobia. Well, remember I told you what's the number one cause of atheism in the United States? Christianity. What's the number one cause of Islamophobia in the United States? Is fucking Islam. It's a programming step that's constantly taken on, and they get to claim, well, we're discriminated against, and so we need all these special services, right? Yeah, and in the historically black colleges, they have black colleges. We have, the black entertainment channel, but we couldn't have the white entertainment channel. We couldn't have the Jewish channel. Wouldn't fly. This because this separation is needed for control. Thank you for reposting the streams, guys. I appreciate it. Let's do a little bit of searching. Okay? Who was it that said it first? CMAC? CMAC, what state are you in? And then we got 007. Answer me. I'm going to go back and look. I'm going to do CMAC first. I'm going to do 007 second. CMAC, what state are you? And I'm sorry I don't remember. Right? Oregon? Okay, let's take a look at Oregon. I think you said there's no mosque. That was the question. Right? Let me let my page load. No. Okay. I kind of think funny that in Oregon you have Beaverton, or Beavertown as I call it, and it's the highest population of lesbians in the US. Beaverton. I'm moving to Beaverton. Anyway, let me share my screen. Here. Stand by. Okay. Here. Going to go back here. I'm going to make it big screen. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to pump it up. Here is, you said there were no mosque? Yeah, isn't that ironic? Beaverton. Here it is. We're only looking at Oregon. How many are close to you, CMAC? And you say there's none? 007, where were you? Which was it, 007? Did anybody remember 007's state? Right? We're going to go to counties. Who remember what 007 said? Here they are. I'm going to go back. Where's my state picker? Yeah, 69 Scissor Street, Beaver, Oregon. I've been to that club. Anyway, I had to go and drag, but I was there. Who did somebody say Idaho? Let's look at Idaho. Okay. Are there any in Idaho? We're going to let it pop up and see. Here's Idaho. Somebody said Oklahoma. Let's just inherit, and I'll put the link in here after I do this one. Oklahoma. Y'all just had a big battle in Broken Arrow. But here you go. This is Oklahoma. You think they're not there, but they are. Let me share you this one. All I'm asking is don't get too caught up in it during the program, but I'm going to share with you the database. This is where you can look it up, and I'm going to share you another one. Let me get this across channels. Yes, I'm a member of that place in Beaverton at 69 Scissor Street. I'm a lifetime member. They ran a special in Oregon. That's why I joined. At this special club at 69 Scissor Street in Beaverton, Oregon, the big lesbian club that I had to go drag to. I joined because I was passable in drag, but they also gave everybody free concert tickets in perpetuity to Lickapalooza, which I thought was fantastic, right? Everybody wants free concert tickets. Okay, you're going to kind of recognize the next style that I'm going to put up on the screen. And start putting your states or cities in. And let's just take a look. 1, 2, here it is. Get ready. We're going to go panopticon style. You've seen me do these before. Okay. Here's all the recruiting centers. Islamic Center of Leavenworth, Kansas. Let's look at Laramie County, Wyoming. Let's get up here. Let me see if I can see it. Hang on. Here's Wyoming. Well, there you go. And let's see. You've got here it is, Cheyenne. Look at how many in Cheyenne. That's Cheyenne. Right? These things are like Houston is one of these. Again, these. Let's look at. Here's Dallas Fort Worth. There's everything, and even when you see a dot, it's more than just one. There's a tremendous amount of them. More and more and more. This is just the center of Highland Park. And here as we back off. There it is, folks. I'm going to share this one to you too. You have to understand it's all the derivatives, and there's a little bit of hiding in this, okay? And when I say the hiding, you have to understand that they have different names. And it's not just mosque, okay? It's not just mosque. Besides a mosque, they also have home-based mosque, which they don't list the same, but there are home-based mosques as well. The slides under the radar. And there's masjids, M-A-S-J-I-D-S, mosque and Islamic centers. Right? These are everywhere. So let's talk about where this growth is. I gave you the mosque database. I gave you this map. We got it in chat, right? I gave everybody this thing in chat, right? And just do it again, just make sure, because you can do your own homework. Don't believe me, do your own damn homework. I'm not here to do your homework. Okay. What do you think are the fastest growing areas? When it comes to, let's just narrow it down. When it comes to building a mosque, which you know in Islam is not a church. Most people don't know that. If you're following my Islam series, a mosque is not a church. A mosque is a fort, a war planning area for men, for strategy, for planning wars, storing weapons, etc. You can go it up, you can look at the history yourself. We just kind of wave them off as they're, well, it's a church. No, that's where the system wants you to think what they are, but not really tell you the stuff. They are terrorist training facilities. Who had the single largest number of mosque growth? What state? Virginia, I'll just give them to you this way. Virginia's up 300%. New Hampshire's up 133%. North Dakota's up 100%. Delaware's up 80%. Michigan's up 65%. Minnesota 62%. Maine 60%. Ohio 57%. Utah, Moreland up 56%. Kentucky up 52%. Those numbers really don't do it justice because across the board from Obama entries into our systems, right? It is up triple digits. Every single state. Triple digits. Now, Wikipedia will always say different. Wikipedia is a piece of shit. Because, I'll tell you why. Wikipedia is up to the Wikipedia editor that populated it originally. And if that editor doesn't like what somebody populates, even if it has correct numbers as it should be, they'll just reject it and make it read completely bullshit. You want to understand how this works? Read my fucking profile on Wikipedia. It's total shit. Everything has gone through the roof when it comes to mosque. Everything has gone through the roof when it comes to mosque. The states that are getting hammered the most: Michigan, Ohio, Georgia, Minnesota, Virginia, Texas, Florida, New York. If we looked at districts that are being hammered, New York, Southern California, Chicago, Detroit, DC, Northern New Jersey, the Bay Area, Dallas, Houston, and Atlanta. All directly related to the states that are being fought over to turn them permanently blue or exclusively under blue control. And if you're getting free money for being Muslim, you ain't getting it because you're a Christian, getting free money because you're a Muslim, you're not going to do anything to those lawmakers in town because it would cut off your own free check you get every freaking month. And this is part of the attack on Texas. You let Texas fall, what falls? If you let Texas go blue and fall, what falls? Put it in chat if you know what it is. One thing happens if Texas, it's not about America, something goes before that. We know America goes. What falls? We know the whole country goes. We know the whole thing. I'm trying to drive you down to the first thing that falls when Texas falls. Yes, our borders will be porous. Something else. Yes, the whole country will fall. It's something else. There is a decision. Bingo. Our Second Amendment. Our guns will go away. It's not about Christianity yet. It's about our guns. That's it. That's why there is such a concentration. They built this shame stuff. It's shameful. You're Islamophobic. You're transphobic. No, it's about 450 million guns. When did England permanently go no guns, UK? 97? What does the UK look like right now? The UK's permanent ban on guns came official 1997. What does the UK look like right now? You got fucking Prince Charles acknowledging Ramadan, not doing a Christian holiday. Do you understand what's coming? And when our guns are gone, it's over. And it's right. Isaac's right to say guns and Bibles. There you go. Same thing happened to Australia. The moment they banned guns, because guns kill people, it's over. Laura says, what happened to don't mess with Texas? I don't know. Other than it's been so corrupt, systematic change. They even want Sharia cities. A Republican lawmaker in Texas proposed a bill to allow religious cities. Hidden in that bill, a Republican, hidden in that bill is what paves the way for Sharia law and Sharia cities in Texas. And he's running to be the Texas AG right now. Somebody, they'll throw money in their pocket, live high off the hog, think they're great, and will basically throw away their states. This is part of why they want Donald Trump out. Texas falls, and it's rapidly happening. The highest concentration of Muslim population, period. Highest per capita concentration of mosques. They will do away with the guns. Period. And rhinos are playing into this. And this is why I tell you, there is nothing else that matters at all than our elections. And all they've been doing is trying to figure out how to do it. And it's done with people, paper, and programs. But you had a con. It's the machines. It's Serbia, Venezuela. All bullshit to keep you away from the fact they do it with the paper. And what they're doing, and this is the most telling one, I need you to understand. We can agree that all of this shit started with Obama and big ass honking checks. People don't put this together. Hillary was at the Democratic National Convention to accept the nomination. And on the floor, somebody most of us had never heard of, and he didn't campaign. On the floor, we get a hot swap, and it's going to be Obama. Do you remember that? Now, what happened, as I understand it, is Hillary was $170 million in debt. And so what they did is they said, we're going to pay your debt and give you more to boot to operate on. So we're going to get rid of this debt. You're going to be able to run again, but we want to try a new face. And so she made a debt decision. And we got Obama. What's the first thing the system did when Obama became president of the United States? What did the system do for him? Do you remember? Put it in chat if you remember. What did the system do for Obama the immediate time he came in? They gave him the Nobel Peace Prize. For doing nothing. Now, why'd they do that? They did it to validate him so people couldn't challenge it. Same thing they did to that lady in Georgia that Biden gave her the Medal of Freedom for Ruby. All crap. All crap. All crap. And then he proceeded to dismantle everything. Now, we know he was their rock star. He got 69 million votes at that time. And that was well, if you don't vote for him, he's black. You're just racist. That's when they started this. So 69 million votes. His second term, which was illegitimate, we discovered that doing 16 years of audits, he got 65 million votes. Hillary, now there's the most popular right there. Hillary against Trump got 65 million votes. And when they activated the takeover, Biden got 81 million votes. Yep. 81 million votes. Now, we know that was fraudulent. Kamala comes in, runs against Trump. She got 68 million on election night. I'm showing you something from May 21st of 24. She's now over 75 million votes, which basically is trying to convince you she's more popular than Hillary, more popular than Obama ever was. Now, what they're doing is they're covering that spread because they put them on the books. That's why it's people, paper, and programs. It's people, paper, and programs. It always has been. It always will be. But people don't pay attention. These are the hardcore numbers, folks. This is telling you what's coming in the midterms. This is what they're pulling off right now. Okay? This is exactly what they're pulling off right now. Now, they're doing this on purpose because when it comes to the midterms, they're about to undo everything. It's just going to happen. They're going to do it. And in that undoing of everything, what's going to happen here is that's where they're going to impeach Trump, all this other stuff, etc. Now, this is actual discussion I've had with President Trump. And I tell him, sir, it's the voter rolls. We got to get rid of them. We got to figure out how to wipe them clean. Now, you're participating in that right now. You see what's going on right now. It's being worked. But the GOP, Mike Lindell and others, did a 475 city tour. All these guys telling you, I work for free. I just volunteer. And they did a 475 city tour. Got to those cities, have a hotel and stuff. And in all of those 475 city tours, and in every national convention where they magically spoke, they said, don't worry about the voter rolls. It's sweeping the floor. You can't do anything. But they sold you. It's the machines. It's the machines. It's the machines. The machines are misdemeanors, cannot be enforced because it's voluntary. All of that was done from the inside. And everybody fell for it. And they just hope you don't remember. We're even seeing stuff like people that, I'll give you an example, and let me see if I can find that video, okay? Hang on. I want to find something real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second. Because this to me says a lot. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm watching all this happen. We're about a month away to release the hardcore results of the Arizona audit. And we've got them nailed dead to rights. Over 160,000 state and federal felonies, all prosecutable by the paper. What did we get? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get this cyber symposium, and it's working to beat us to the punch of releasing the report. Cyber symposium, instead of it being about here's the paper, here's what happened. Oh, it's China, it's this and that. All bullshit. All total bullshit. No fact, no shit. All CIA operation. But what it did get is it got Tina Peters landed in prison. That was the shot, don't you ever fuck with elections or we're going to send you to jail. That same crew that I believe got Tina Peters imprisoned all come out of Lindell. They used Lindell to get on the national speaking circuit. Here you go.
So you have a centralized statewide voter roll that's on networked machines, servers. It has a public-facing internet interface. That's it. That's all I need to know that it's blown. That's a centralized statewide voter roll that was mandated by Help America Vote Act. They have these all over the country. And it's not just that you have a public-facing internet interface to it, but multiple organizations have what's called an API, or an application programming interface. In other words, a machine-to-machine interface into that voter roll. And I'm telling you this because when people say, well, we have to clean up the voter rolls, it's true that they're not following the law. It's true that they're not in good faith maintaining them in accordance with Title 52 that requires that the voter rolls be both secure and accurate. That's a requirement imposed on the secretaries of state who've received the Help America Voting Act and CARES Act funding to maintain those voting systems. What nobody's going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you, is you cannot clean those rolls. You're sweeping a dirt floor.
All of this coincides with a discussion at the highest level. Me sitting down with President Trump at invitation. We're not talking some, hey, can I get a picture with you? No. You get maybe 3 or 4 minutes with the man. We sat down 96 uninterrupted minutes. And then dinner afterwards. But I'm nailing it down even right there. And his staff, well, we're told we can't do anything about the voter rolls. You know, so not to bother with them. And then that went on. And then this little speaking circuit goes on. Now, why do I even bring this up? The writing on the wall is exactly how it's going to happen. You see it now. This is all driven 100% by the voter rolls. They got to have them on the rolls, get a ballot to them. The rest is bullshit. This is why they want you to focus on the machines, so you don't see this. Well, I'm telling you, with Kamala up to 75 more million votes than 68 she had on election night, that ain't because somebody left machines running, folks. This is the con. But that did a 475 city tour. You look at those teams, what's the common denominator? Common denominator, they were all involved in Tina Peters. She went to prison. Cyber Symposium was bullshit. Supposed to show PCAPs, never did. It's what got Tina in prison. Same guys. I question that. You should too. You know what another thing about those same guys are? Every one of them were at January 6th. Every one of them. One of them has his organization, told all his people, you got to come here, we got to be here January 6th. Conveniently, he's not arrested, not questioned, but the people he got there were. Now you see him being promoted different places. They bragged about how they were there on January 6th. Now you're actually seeing them come out, well, you know, the FBI showed up at my home on January 5th. They showed up at my home on January 5th asking about a bumper sticker I had. And because of that bumper sticker, they said, what do you think is going to happen January 6th? What's really going to go on? Now, who would even ask a question like that? A bumper sticker, right? Now they're trying to play like they weren't there. But all those guys were there. None of them arrested. None of them questioned. None of them detained. And now they're risen to some of the highest levels in election integrity. And you know what the common denominator is of every one of them, even like Sean, he's an ex-military guy. You can't confirm his background. You can't find anything on him. Any of these guys, you cannot find any of their backgrounds. Now, at some point, all these coincidences become a problem. So what I'm saying is we're in a very do or die situation. And even those people who bragged about being there are now saying, well, it's home in Colorado. They showed up and asked about my bumper sticker. We saw your bump. Here's how stupid the story is. Well, we saw your bumper sticker driving down the street. And so we found out where you lived, and we come knock on your door, and we want to know what's going to happen on January 6th. How stupid of an excuse is that? When you've told the whole world and post video, you're there. Now you're trying to play you're at home. But none of these guys, not one. Just like Epps, not one. Not one. Were in D.C. claiming FBI came and knocked on his door in Colorado. And this is where we are, folks. And this is the way it happens. And it's a combination between greed and ego and operations. Right? Operations, running ops. And we're all the ones being sacrificed. But let me tell you how weak we are. You practice this little thing called, oh, I forgive them. And I'll use a prime example. Mike Lindell. PCAPs were never real, ever. All a CIA run operation. Put all these people in, and you still follow them. You still latch on to every word because you're just so forgiven. Why? Because he's a man of faith. He mentions God all the time. He wears a cross on his shirt. Don't you understand? A lot of these people are practicing window dressing, and you don't even get it. You don't even have the balls to cut out the cancer. You don't even have the balls to say, am I following this person? Which everybody around you can see it. I'm not giving that person my endorsement anymore. See, this is the problem. This is how social media plays into this crap. And then you have people, and I've talked about this before, it's supposed to be a CIA whistleblower. There is no such thing as a CIA whistleblower. You're CIA, you're always CIA. Nothing ever changes. Kind of like Islam. But they're going to tell you everything that's bad with the government. People like us that give you the facts, truth, how to detect it, we get banned on YouTube. They destroy our followings, limit our numbers. But all of a sudden, a CIA whistleblower comes forward and they got 2 million followers. And you can't see through that. And those same ones that for a few years have all these followers are now saying, well, no, President Trump's got to go. He's like a wackadoodle. Do you not see the pattern? If YouTube is banning everything about truth, which you know, they banned everything about the audit truth. They scrub stuff nonstop. 259,000 subs, gone. It took me years to get it back. It'll never go back to what it was. Gone, vanished. But all of a sudden, a whistleblower comes forward. Somebody really knows the inside scoop, dirty stuff, and boom, they got 2 million followers out of fucking nowhere. And you watch them for a few years, and you kind of believe it, and you listen to them, and they got a radio show. And then all of a sudden, with this stuff with Iran, we got to get rid of Trump. We got to do this. Can't you see the con? Can't you see the con? This is why all of these things, you got to understand how it works. And that's, look, you make your own decision, folks. You make your own decisions. And don't believe me, audit me. Look for yourself. Do your own work. That's why I'll give you the link so you can do it. We live in a massive con. We literally do, right? Live in the matrix. It's wild. But we don't audit ourselves. We don't ask. This guy go around, gave no proof, traveled to 435 cities, basically came up with some, bullshit theory, polydynamical fractal fucktall, based on total shit because you never audited it. Yeah, well, it's based on the 2010 census and 4 counties, and you don't even do it. And you don't even have the strength to boot them out of your life and unfollow. Why? Because you still hang on to the thread. They tell you what a Christian they are, or you hope you're going to get some gem out of them when you know the truth. That's what they operate on. because American people are too weak to be hardline and cut that fucking cancer out. It's amazing. It angers me, but it saddens me mostly when I look at our country and I look at this. But I'm telling you, I understand the fucking racket. I understand it. Right? Stuff like Bannon. And now you're finding and seeing all these things, right? And you're learning the most nastiest shit in the world, but you still can't stop following. That's part of what gives them their power. And you think you know the truth, but you are the fuel that keeps it driven. And you can't even cut off the fuel supply because they're a good person. Oh, he did so much. He's great. Here's my thing. You fuck America over, you're gone. I'm not going to give you a minute of my time. And then we can't do it. We can't call it like it is. That is why we're in trouble. It's the double-edged sword. We are the sole cure. But we don't exercise it. We are also the secondary judge, God first. But here, we're the judge. And you can judge people, see it's broken, see it's bullshit, and you can't take your power back. You can look at an account, they post something. You think they've been held up as an expert, so they must be an expert. We do everything in Arizona, right? All this stuff, highly detailed, but yet a person who really didn't know what they were doing somehow does a special on 60 Minutes on election integrity. Don't you understand that's a con? And you can't see it? But see, you got to think of your follow as a power indicator. Well, I follow Kansas just to see what she's saying. No, she's trading on you because everybody around you who trusts you sees you follow Kansas. So maybe there's something to learn there. Maybe I should too. You're the power cell. And you're giving away your power nonstop. And it's always, well, I know their stuff didn't work out, but they're so nice. I know they were, but they're such a godly person. Satan doesn't come back as a demon. You understand that, right? They come back as the most Christian person you ever met, your best fucking friend. And you don't even understand that concept. You can't even look across the landscape and the people that have to have contests of who said Jesus the most, who prayed the most, who wears their cross on the outside. Welcome to the Christian, I'm a Christian Patriot Hour, the most patriot of all Patriot Christian Hour. Welcome to my show. I want to announce my new initiative. It's called Me, About Me, .me.com. Donate. It's about me. And you can't even see through that. We're going to fix America. We're going to fight all these lawsuits. So donate to me. Here's my full name. Me, my, me. It's all about me.com. Fuck no. It's about saving America. So you got to understand, at the same time we're a cure, folks, at the same time, right, about the cure, we're also the poison. I'm exceptionally careful who I endorse and why and what. I watch everybody like a hawk. There's even things I still haven't talked about, but I have shown you the way to be able to audit for yourself. And even some of you are having a hard time with that audit. Behind the scenes, I've been threatened. Don't you dare talk about me or whatever. I'll this, I'll do this, I'll do that. Behind the scenes, I get threatened. But everything I do is teach. The question is, are you paying attention? Are you looking? Are you understanding? Are you connection? Etc. But I just want you to think about one thing, whether it's Bannon or Lindell or Candace Owens. I just want to see what fucking shit she's going to say today. No, you're that battery meter people measure by to see how many are there. And you don't even understand it. Or you go, Candace went off the deep end. Did Candace go off the deep end, or did Candace do what she was paid to do? Put in, built up, get you following, flip the switch. She didn't fall off the deep end. She's reading a script. Do you know how you know? And I'll give you Candace as Kansas is the best example. Do you know how she's reading a script? Do you know how she's reading a script? Because she misenunciates or pronounces the words. You don't do that in your brain. You know the word in your brain. It's only when you read it, when you're actually reading it, that the mispronunciation comes out, because it's not stored in your brain that way. Candace is given a script to read. That is why everybody makes fun of her mispronouncing words. It's not because they're in her brain that way. It's because she's reading a script. And it is by the reading of script. Punt that. Jovan, punt that. I don't know what you're saying. Punt that. Try to be a little more descriptive. Jovan, punt that. Punt that. She's reading a script. She knows what the word is if she was just talking about it. That's how you know she's just not talking about it. She's reading it. And by the way, watch Tucker. Tucker's reading a script. MTG, what about her? Ramped up, held up, presented away, flipped at the right moment. That's the racket. Oh, punt equals hit? Oh, I think Candace would probably be fun for about 30 minutes, but that'd be about it. But I'd have a rule. You can't talk. Just shut up. Do you get it? He said punt, P-U-N-T. But that's it. Watch these things. Learn what you're looking at. It's all scripted. I just try to tell you this because I'm telling you, folks, this shit's coming. We're getting to the most critical midterms ever in American history, and top guys are telling we got to get rid of Trump. We got to get rid of Trump. Now, that would be hard to do under the 25th Amendment, but you don't understand the real play. If they can make you doubt Trump, you're not going to listen to his endorsements. If they can besmirch Trump, the true people that President Trump trusts and puts up, you're going to discount them. You're going to probably go for the one behind them that's trailing that says they are Republican, and that's the system guy or gal that they want in. That's how it works. The ticket come November, Kamala and AOC. I thought it was going to be Newsom. I don't think he can get back past this $169 billion on his watch robbed. But they may try to push Kamala up again with AOC. And then it'll be an all ticket of color and female. Beat that, bitch. Just telling you. I'm just telling you. And we do it to ourselves. Because as much as we detest the people destroying our country, much we detest the people on the left, we don't even have the balls to cut off the people on the supposed right. Just because they're one of us, which is probably the biggest shit I got. If you're a fucking idiot and you're destroying this country and you're on the right, I'm still going to call you a fucking idiot and you're destroying this country. There is no credence to me on a team playing when it comes to our nation. And if you're a team player that is a fucking idiot or going to get us all killed, or I know you're a rat bastard, you ain't on the fucking team and I ain't playing team with you. Because right now it's survive or die, don't you think? You're either for America or against America. You don't get a get out of jail free card just because you call yourself a Republican or a patriot. In fact, I've become very disenchanted with the word patriot because everybody in the fucking everywhere uses it. And by the way, if they have to tell you they're one, in my book, that kind of leads me to believe they're not one. Just my random thoughts. And you're right. I'm going to give the last word to Tinkerbell. A lot of fucking idiots in government. Helen's on my team, and she will regularly take one for the team to make sure the team's good. I'm on your team, Helen, and I love you. We can win this. We can do this. We just have to talk soberly, truthfully, factually, and demand evidence. But if somebody has to come at you and say, I discovered the secret algorithm and Apollo Fomino technical fado mechanic, this area, but don't worry, I'm the one with the PhD and you're not. But let me tell you, that's it. Run! When somebody tells you they left the box, a farmer left the box, got a box of ticks left on his land, whole box of ticks. You know what? Ask for a picture of the box and the ticks. Ask for the name of the farmer. Confirm it with the farmer. And you bet if a farmer found a box of ticks on their land, they're fucking taking pictures and turning it into the extension agent. But we don't ask that shit. We don't ask for facts and proof. Why? Proof equals truth. You just have to have a high standard for proof. It can't be because this influencer said it. That's not proof. Well, she's a doctor and she said it. That's not proof. That's not proof. Proof is you can show it, you can repeat it, you can understand it, you could do it yourself, and you can see it clearly with your own eyes. That's proof. Anyway, I went off on a tangent. I love you all. But all I can say is, you know what my motto is, right?
Rennie Good was a gifted soul, a writer and a poet and a mother, wow. She tried to hit an agent with her car, oh no! Pop motherfucker!
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do that? I'm going to put this on loop a bit.
Rennie Good was a gifted soul, a writer and a poet and a mother, wow. She tried to hit an agent with her car, oh no! Pop motherfucker, now she's gone! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue hair and fucker both were Rennie Good was a gifted soul, a writer and a poet and a mother, wow. She tried to hit an agent with her car, oh no! Pop motherfucker, now she's gone! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue-haired and fuckables with the septum ring. You are not a hero, you're a fucking disease! You fuck around and find out it's what it is! Homo started talking shit to protect a chomo. He was getting nicked when he pulled a gun. Bam, motherfucker, now you're gone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue-haired and fuckables with the septum ring. You are not a hero, you're a fucking disease. Fuck around and find out what that is. Yeah.
Our courts are based on clear and convincing evidence. Want convictions? Want justice? For what happened in the 2020 election? Then we need your help. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The decision you make in the next few moments could decide whether we ever get our elections fixed or not. Here's why. Trump campaign and allies filed 64 different lawsuits. They all went down in flames. 100% of these cases were presented on "It's the machines," or "The machines changed the votes," or "The voting company executive said he would make sure Donald J. Trump would not win." They all went down in flames. Why? You can't bring theories to court as evidence. No supposed Zoom call or six-degree polynomial math theory or census data is or ever will be proof of fraud. You can't bring theories to court as evidence. Here's why. In both civil and criminal law, the side making a claim carries the burden of proof, and prosecutors must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Without physical or otherwise verifiable evidence, a case cannot meet this high threshold. Physical evidence is the key. The question is, did anyone get relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The full forensic audit of Maricopa County, Arizona is the only evidence-gathering work which gathered relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election. Evidence so damning that the system, the deep state, and those who pull the strings of this country have fought to keep it hidden and have hoped to have it be forgotten to time. Almost $3 million invested in time, funds, and efforts to unlock that which the system wanted hidden. But now, that evidence is in danger of being lost forever. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. With the 2026 midterms coming up, the system is going to try to lame duck President Trump and then most likely introduce new impeachment proceedings. This is the evidence which will help win the war which is surely to come. We need to keep Maricopa County full forensic investigation and archives secure and ongoing. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We need your help securing the full forensic audit archives. Don't allow the only testable, objective, and reliable 2020 election evidence fall into obscurity. Millions were spent on getting it documented and tested. This is historic evidence. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. Please donate now.